Initiation into Hermetics by Franz Bardon. Now we shall begin part 2. Practice. Step 1. Let us now turn to the practical side of the initiation. We must always be aware of the fact that body, soul, and mind are to be trained simultaneously, for otherwise it would be impossible to gain and maintain the magic equipoise. In the theoretic part, I already called the attention to the dangers possibly arising from a one-sided training. It is not advisable to hasten development because everything needs time. Patience, perseverance, and tenacity are fundamental conditions of the development. The pains taken in one's development will amply be rewarded. Whosoever is willing to enter the magic path should regard it his sacred duty to practice regular exercises. He ought to be kind, generous, and tolerant with his fellow men, but relentless and hard with himself. Only such a behaviour will be followed by success in magic. Refrain from condemning or criticising, and sweep first before one's own doorstep. Sweep first before the own doorsteps, it says. Do not permit anyone to look into your sanctuary. The magician will always keep silence with respect to his way, rise, and success. This silence grants the highest powers, and the more this commandment is obeyed, the more easily accessible will these powers be. Do manage it so that you spend as much time as possible in your rise or advance. It is quite unnecessary to waste time with sitting for hours, drinking beer and passing time in a trivial company. Time is running away like water, never to come back again. A certain amount of time ought to be provided for, but it is very necessary to stick to it. Exceptions ought to be allowed only in quite inevitable cases. Man is subject to habits, and once accustomed to a definite timetable for his exercises, he will feel compelled to do his exercises. In the same way as there is a want for the necessities of life, such as eating, drinking, and sleeping, it ought to happen in regard of the exercises, which must become, as it were, a habit. This is the sole way to attain a sure and full success. There is no prize without diligence. It is my ambition to arrange for the instructions as if they were meant for the busiest man. He who has plenty of time on hand may be able to be occupied with 2 or more exercises at the same time. Actually, I need a sip of tea, if you don't mind.